Hey everyone, so today we are going to make a really awesome recipe from this cookbook from Bayless, which is one of my very favorite chefs, Mexican Every Day. And we are making the pork tinga recipe here. Smoky pork tinga tacos with avocado and fresh cheese. And basically this is a slow cooker recipe, and it's got pork in it, tomato, chipotle peppers, potato, and it just cooks forever and turns into just awesomeness. So this makes for a really good filling for taco night, which actually we will be attending this evening, is a taco night with our friends. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, we're kind of taking it a little bit further than the recipe calls for, because the recipe basically just says cut it all up, put it in the crock pot. But we want to add a little color to it, and we wanted to kind of get it ready the night before. So last night we took this pork butt and rubbed it in olive oil, salt and pepper, and just covered it up and refrigerated it. And so the next thing that's going to happen is Mark is going to take it out to the grill and put a little color on it before we go ahead and follow the recipe and put it into the crock pot.
Okay, the key to this step is to just basically have a ripping hot grill. I got this thermometer buried on this. It's probably 600-700 degrees. Just take the tinga with whatever. You don't have to worry about being too neat. All we're trying to do is get some good color on it. So you take the pork, I should say, just throw it on a ripping hot grill. And what we'll do is we'll caramelize this up on both sides. We're not going to cook it through or anything. We just want to get good color on it. And when you're done, this is about what you're looking for. Good color. Try not to burn it, but get a good color. You don't have to cook it all the way through. This took probably about 6 minutes aside. The smaller piece cooked quicker, but about 6 minutes aside. Okay, and after the pork comes off the grill, you bring it inside, let it cool for about 10-15 minutes, and then cube it and into 1 to 1.5 inch pieces, and it should come out looking somewhat like this. Okay, so you get your crock pot base out, or the pot portion of it out, and what you're going to do is cube the potatoes and align them along the bottom like this. We're making a double batch here, and this is a 6-quart crock pot, so it's about the right size for a double batch. You could use bigger or smaller, it really doesn't matter. Okay, and then the next step is to just take the pork that you cubed and lay it in a layer over the potatoes, like so.
Okay, so we are going to put these tomatoes in this bowl. I've got 3 cans in there, 14 ounce. We need 4 of these cans. We're using the fire roasted tomatoes. I think we got these at Costco. So I'm going to put these all in there. I chopped up, like Mark had mentioned, we're doing a double batch, so I chopped up 2 medium onions. So I'm going to add those into this bowl. Got chipotle adobo all over my hands. Okay, and it calls for 3 to 4 chipotles in adobo, and this is the can that we picked up from a nearby Mexican grocery store, and we've had these before. This is a good brand. So 3 to 4 of these, plus you want to reserve the adobo sauce, so I'm going to put that in there as well. Because we're doing a double batch, I'm putting in about 7 of them, so good luck to us. Here's the sauce, we'll just kind of get that in there as well. Okay, so the recipe calls for 3 cloves of garlic. Again, we're doubling that, so we're looking for 6. Anytime you read a recipe and it calls for a clove of garlic, this is a clove of garlic. This is the size you're looking for. Big old clove of garlic. So anytime you open up a new bulb of garlic, you're going to get some of these, but then you're going to get cloves like this that are a little bit smaller. So what I always do is double it up, and that to me is a clove. So I'm counting this as a clove, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm going to add the garlic next. It's minced up. Adding the Worcestershire, which was 2 tablespoons worth. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of oregano. We're using Mexican oregano. I believe we probably got this at Penzeys. They're awesome. So it calls for 1. We're going to add 2 for our double batch. Ish. Don't be shy. And then the recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Since we salted the pork ahead of time, we probably put around that much on the actual pork, so we're not going to double the salt for our double batch. We're actually just going to put the 1.5 teaspoons of salt in there, just so that we don't oversalt. Because remember, you can always add more salt, but you cannot take away. Here's the half, so 1.5 salt. And then we're just going to stir this together. Obviously you want a pretty big bowl if you're going to make a double batch anyway. And we're going to stir this all together and pour it over top of the pork in the crock pot.
Okay, the next step is to take the tomato, onion, and spice mixture and chilies, and what we're going to do is just spoon it over the top of this and pack everything down. Just make sure you get it all in there. And a lot of the times it looks like it won't fit, but this just will fit. We've done this before, so this is all you really have to do with this part of it. Okay, so now you just put the pot together, and as you can see, it all fit. It barely fits, but a 6-quart cooker is perfect for a double batch on this recipe. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cook it for 6 hours, and it'll be in this crock pot. It says it's on high, so we cook it on high for 6 hours. And what happens during this time is everything heats up and melds together. This will actually shrink. It'll probably be about 3/4 of an inch to an inch lower than it is right now. And after that cooking time, what we're going to do is skim. There'll be some fat that rises to the top. We'll skim that off, and then basically you'll be ready to serve. Okay. You're going to also make sure you cook it covered, and then set your crock pot to 6 hours, and just let it do its thing. So this is what the Tinga looks like about 5 hours in. It's got about another hour to go. During that last hour, you can take part in this optional step, which is frying up some chorizo. Chorizo can be either store-bought or homemade. We happen to make our own. But you fry up, for this double batch, you'll fry up about a half a pound to a pound. This is about 1.25 pounds, so it's a little more than you need. But it adds a nice touch to the finished product.
Okay, so this is what it looks like now. We're over at somebody's house, so it's a little noisy. So Mark's just kind of, there's the pork right there. It just basically falls right apart. It's amazing. So
the potatoes. So it just kind of squishes.
Yeah, so you just want to.
This is what you want to do.
Yeah, just stir it around. He's using the tongs just because it's so full, and just stir it around and break everything up. And then after he does that, we're going to go ahead and stir in the chorizo.
Yep.
Okay, so now he's putting the chorizo in.
It's more than the recipe calls for, but
yeah.
Who cares?
Because it's good. And just stir that in.
Then we'll cover it over.
And that's about it. You're just going to cover it up and
put it on your tacos.
Yeah, put the thing on, or put the crock pot on warm and wait to serve. Delicious. just want you to take a look at this for a moment. Just, I mean, Jesus. It's just so good. Okay, so here is the finished product, plated out for you. The pork tinga. Mark made some pickled onions. Put those on top. A little cilantro. You could put cheese if you want. Actually, it doesn't really need it. But here you have it. It's very, very delicious, and hope you like it.